I'm going to play something for you really quick. Another two T's in a pod clip. Hold on.
Oh, God. I love that we always reference them on Hot Messy Talk.
I do think we need some sort of voice of reason in this group.
Who do you think that is right now?
I mean, I
there
guess
is no voice of reason.
I think at this point, because Candy's been so activated this season, like I do feel like they need Cynthia back. Who do you think the voice of reason of Orange County is?
I was just thinking that just entered my mind. The voice of reason. I think that Heather can be a voice of reason a lot of times.
You think she can see both sides of an argument, and then
yeah,
I do think.
Which is so funny because that's the very person that she goes after the entire season. Now, Gina K recently came out and said Tamra spent most of her season filming with the rest of the women completely obliterated and drunk. Can you hear my chair?
Yeah, a little bit. I just fixed that too. Well, I have to agree with Teddy here. This doesn't happen very often, but I do miss Cynthia Bailey on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I do feel like she was a voice of reason. When it comes to Orange County, the closest voice of reason I could probably think of is like Emily Simpson. I don't know if there is a voice of reason at this point. The only voice of reason that would make a great television show, I'm not saying she's reasonable or, at anything sometimes, but Kelly Dodd. I don't know if they can't save the show this year with Tamra. You got to throw Kelly back into the mix, and it's got to be what it was before.
Well, I feel like a lot of people would maybe disagree with you, but Kelly Dodd has also entered the chat because she's revealing what really ended her friendship with Tamra, and she's talking about producers. Now, she said that at BravoCon, when people were sitting there asking Tamra questions while she was on stage, and people were like, Kelly Dodd, F her, screw her. She's like, you said it. And Kelly was like, that was the moment that we no longer had a friendship. However, in my mind, I was wondering, was Tamra just literally planting the seed for you guys to have a feud that way that they could bring you on and it would make sense? Like, did we completely see past this,
Regardless of sometimes what the cast wants, planting the seeds and having this story continue. Like, I don't know how this is going to go, and how are you going to continue it into the next season? You have to put something else in there. But I'm being very this is too early to tell. I can't wait for the premiere episode, which I guess is right before the third part of the Vanderpump Rules reunion, right? And I can't wait to see what we're going to get.
Well, Kelly Dodd did say that the same producer who fired her was actually coming back to her and saying, hey, listen, like, we really miss you. We wish we wouldn't have let you go. We want you back.
Yeah.
And obviously not making the decisions.
Yeah. And in a world of, I'm sure it would be great to have her back. I don't know if we'll see Kelly Dodd back. I mean, I don't know because sometimes stuff she says currently, her show is growing. The Daily Smash with Rick and Kelly, it's growing pretty fast. And sometimes she says stuff on there that maybe not everyone would agree with. Definitely not some of the other housewives. So I don't know if it would be a great idea that we could see some drama, or if that she would push so much that she would, and I'm going to steal this from Nacho in the live chat, she might trigger some of the other women too much.
Yeah. I mean, this is what she said. Hold on.
Was calling me and saying they need you back, even the producers.
Then why didn't you just go back as a friend and just show up?
They don't like me.
Why don't they like you?
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work because I said things during COVID that really made Bravo upset.
Did you have any idea you were getting fired from Bravo or no?
I had an idea that I would.
And how did you get fired? How did they fire you?
Doug Ross called me, and you know what? He just
phone
wrote me.
call.
But Doug just wrote me. Did he not, like a month ago?
Yeah, very supportive.
Doug Ross, he's like, when you were on, you made this show so successful, and I love you, and I hope we can work again. Like, he retired. Yeah.
Okay. Are you muted?
Sorry, I said, who knows? Who knows what the future holds? We got to get through this season first. We have to give this season a chance. I feel like we have to give it a chance. I'm so excited, but I don't want to be disappointed on another season of Orange County.
Well, especially with the way that
casting, poor storylines.
I mean, the way that they're putting their eggs in Tamra's basket, it really is alarming. It's almost like, guys, should we be doing this? Is this the right call? Or are you guys setting us up for failure and this is going to be a whole operation?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think you could do a legacy kind of thing. You can't do, I mean, I guess, well, they're not really doing a legacy. They're doing like an Ultimate Girls Trip. There's nowhere to go. So if you're failing, they're going to recast the whole cast, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the ratings of Atlanta right now. They're dribbling. It's just, it's sad because that used to be like the highest rated Housewives.
When I first met Cynthia Bailey at Pump, and I said to her, I said, yeah, Lisa on the show. And she's like, to be fair, she's like, don't forget Henny. Like she told me straight up, Real Housewives of Atlanta, we have been carrying the viewership and the ratings for the longest time. And I was like,
absolutely.
Not anymore, Henny. But it's true. But also Cynthia Bailey's not on it anymore. Like last night, you nudged me 3 times because I fell asleep during the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We were watching. We were taking notes. I fell asleep and I kept falling asleep. And you were like, Adam, wake the fuck up.
Do you know how many notes I had? You know, I'm sitting there and watching and I'm like trying to note things that I really wanted to focus on or remember or whatever. And I'm telling you, it was by far one of the most boring episodes I've watched yet from Atlanta. I can see why the ratings are struggling. I can also see like sometimes their subject matter. Why are we pushing the shooting thing so much? You know, Candy has already talked about this. It's very cringe. And I said this last time, I really like Marlo as a friend. But when she got a peach, I felt like things turned around. I don't find her extremely interesting as a full-time cast member. When you have some friends like Manada's a little more interesting to me. And even just the whole, you know, story, this episode just kind of drove me nuts. It's like, you know, Kenya getting upset because her event sucked. And then Sonya's like, you know, well, we're here to support you. She's like, you can go home. And I don't know, it's just kind of boring. It's boring. It's really boring. Courtney isn't doing it for me. I don't even know if I could do a recap with you if we were going to sit here and do a recap.
No, I know. That's how bad it is.
We haven't seen enough of Candy and Drew. I do, though. The other thing is we're having repetitive storylines. Like the whole thing between Mama Joyce and Todd.
Hold on. Wait. We're going to get into it.
Oh, are we? Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if we were going to talk about Atlanta because it was such a great episode.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Real quick, before I wanted to talk about the fact that Andy Cohen is revealing an intense text exchange with Vicky Gunvalson and said that she was texting him, making him go nuts. Now, he was actually asked by John Mayer, who's one of his friends, to open up by introducing the Grateful Dead in this concert. And she was texting him saying, I heard that you just did this interview about me talking about the shot when it came to the pandemic. How dare you? What the fuck are you thinking? Don't ever speak on my behalf. And he was like, Vicky, I'm literally stoned as shit right now. I'm about to go introduce this band. I don't have time for this shit. Let's reconvene on Monday. And she's like, oh my God, honey, have the best time. And he's talking about how she's sending all of these messages. And I'm like, you cannot wonder why you are no longer a part of the show. Because all of the new women, none of them would have the audacity to message Andy like that. But because you are so comfortable, you are like, this asshole, yeah, let me say what I need to say.
Sometimes, and I'm not giving Vicky any credit here, okay? Because whatever, but they have different relationships. You know, the very, very first OGs have different relationships with Andy. And I think that a lot of them have started to cross the line, you know? And it's just like, okay, it's too much. We know you started the show. We know you were on the first season. You're the OG of the OG of the OG. Everyone has that freaking title. You know, I think they just get a little excited and cross the line.